Hey guys, Ken here, and we are on day 50 of 51 of David Deida's The Way of the Superior Man. Guys, if you don't have this book, get it. Ladies, if you don't have this book and you have a man in your life that you want him to learn this stuff, get him this book. It is invaluable. Yeah, so let's get going. Restore your purpose in solitude and with other men. A man rediscovers and fine-tunes his purpose in solitude, in challenging situations, and in the company of other men who won't settle for his bullshit. But women strengthen their feminine radiance best in the company of other women in mutual celebration and play. A man must arrange for both forms of restoration, his own solitude in men's gatherings and his woman's time with other women. I agree with that and I disagree with it. And what I mean by that is most of the time, yeah, your woman probably or might not be the type of woman that's going to arrange healthy gatherings with her and her friends, to play in mutual celebration of life, like dancing, getting together to learn, to celebrate where they are in their path, and I have to say, I'm lucky in that aspect where I have a woman that does that for herself because she sees her needs for that just naturally, so that's pretty fucking cool. So it's not up to me to arrange that for her and for them. You might have to do that if your woman is, watching a lot of TV, if she is kind of checking out a lot of the times, if she is, if her time with her girlfriends always consume like, or if they're always like drinking and it's not a healthy play and celebration where it's just, party, 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 then yeah, step up, guys. Come on, get shit straight. Or, like create boundaries in your life. But so I do agree with the sense in that it's up to you and me as men to arrange time to spend with other men to do that too for ourselves. But for your woman, if you're with a healthy woman who already is doing that, then no, you don't have to do that for her. So let's get going. I'm going to read this because, again, we are on day 50. We have 51. We have one day left, and it's a like one paragraph type chapter tomorrow. So let's get going. If you spend too much time with your woman, you will rub off on each other in the worst way. In order to get along together, she will begin to adopt your masculine patterns of speech, denying her feminine desire to flow in play and pleasure without having to make masculine style sense or fulfill a purpose. True, you will begin to adopt her feminine patterns of touch and affection, denying your desire to get down to it with your mission or your woman. Instead, you will find yourself pecking your woman on the cheek or giving her hugs and pats of lovey-dovey reassurance. In short, the goddess and the warrior will become neutralized householders sharing only the mildest play of sexual polarity. In order to enliven her feminine core, your woman should spend time every day in absolute abandon and celebration. I like that. During these times of dancing, singing, laughter, and sheer delight, her body and mind should be totally released of any obligation to be masculine, directed, controlled, structured, or goal-oriented. These occasions are most rejuvenating when she is with other women, magnifying and rejoicing in each other's feminine radiance and flow. If your woman lacks this frequent feminine rejuvenation, she will develop symptoms of depressed feminine energy, disease, especially in her more feminine parts, lack of life energy, low sexual desire and enjoyment, and a blue, downhearted disposition. Much of the modern men's movement has concentrated on men reclaiming their inner feminine energy. If you want to revitalize your own feminine energy, then you can do pretty much the same as women do to revitalize their feminine energy. You can go out into the woods and sing and dance and laugh with your friends. For men who have become rigidly stuck in their masculine direction without allowing the flow of joy and sharing in their lives, this is good medicine. But for men who have lost their sense of purpose, who don't know what their life is about, or who have trouble aligning their life with their truth, singing and dancing aren't the remedy. The cure for lack of purpose is to be challenged to live at your edge, since you have lost the capacity to live there by yourself. The two ways to bring you right to your masculine edge of power are austerity and challenge. Austerity means to eliminate the comforts and cushions in your life that you have learned to snuggle into and lose wakefulness. Take away anything that dulls your edge. No newspapers or magazines, no TV, no candy, cookies or sweets, no sex, no cuddling, no reading of anything at all while you eat or sit on the toilet. Reduce working time to a necessary minimum. No movies, no conversation that isn't about truth, love, or the divine. If you take on these disciplines for a few weeks, as well as any other disciplines that may particularly cut through your unique habits of dullness, then your life will be stripped of routine distractions. All that will be left is the edge you have been avoiding by means of your daily routine. You will have to face the basic discomfort and dissatisfaction that is the hidden texture of your life. You will be alive with the challenge of living your truth rather than hiding from it. Let's see. Unadorned suffering is the bedmate of masculine growth. Only by staying intimate with your personal suffering can you feel through it to its source. By putting all of your attention into work, TV, sex, and reading, your suffering remains unpenetrated and the source remains hidden. Your life becomes structured entirely by your favorite means of sidestepping the suffering you rarely allow yourself to feel. Interesting. And when you do touch the surface of your suffering, perhaps in the form of boredom, you quickly pick up a magazine or the remote control. Instead, feel your suffering, rest with it, embrace it, make love with it. Feel your suffering so deeply and thoroughly that you penetrate it, and you realize its fearful foundation. Almost everything you do because you are afraid to die. And yet dying is exactly what you are doing from the moment you are born. 2 hours of absorption in a good Super Bowl telecast may distract you temporarily, but the fact remains. You are born as a sacrifice, and you can either participate in the sacrifice, dissolving in the giving of your gift, or you can resist it, which is your suffering. By eliminating the safety net of comforts in your life, you have the opportunity to free fall in this moment between birth and death, right through the hole of your fear, into the unthreatenable openness which is the source of your gifts. The superior man lives as the spontaneous sacrifice of love. The other means, besides austerity, for discovering your masculine core is through challenge. The more superficial forms of challenge include activities like mountain climbing, rope courses, competitive sports, and boot camp. These forms of physical challenge instantly enliven the masculine sense of purpose and direction in men and women. Deeper forms of challenge involve directly giving your gift in ways that have been blocked by your fear. If you have always been afraid of public speaking, you can take on the challenge of speaking in public once a week for 3 months. If you fail and miss an appointment in 1 week, the following week you must give 3 talks. If you have always wanted to write a novel but can never finish one, you tell your friends that you are going to complete 1 chapter a week or a month for the next year. Every time you don't complete your weekly goal, you owe your friends $100. If you don't complete your yearly goal, you owe them $10,000. The point is, there must be a consequence for freezing in the face of fear. There are obvious consequences for freezing in the face of fear when mountain climbing or playing competitive sports. You must instill consequences throughout the rest of your life unless you want to cling to the safety net of superficial pleasures. The most potent forms of masculine realignment involve both austerity and challenge. Go into the middle of the woods by yourself with only survival necessities, nothing to read, nothing to do. Fast from food and don't sleep for as long as possible. Challenge your attention with some practice, like chanting or ritual movement, so that your attention doesn't drift or become balmy. Open yourself and wait. Do not cover your suffering. Do not quit before you fall through the hole of your fear and emerge with the vision of your true mission, the unique form of your living sacrifice. This kind of isolation and challenge is an extreme and potent form of masculine vision questing. But there are more common forms that are useful in everyday life. Spend time every day in solitude with no distractions. Just sit for 10 minutes. No fidgeting, no channel surfing, no magazine thumbing. Just be exactly as you are, not trying to change anything. Stay with your suffering until you fall through it and into it, the groundless source of your life. Just as your woman must regularly spend time with only women, you must regularly spend time with only men. At least once a week, get together with your men friends to serve one another. Cut through the bullshit and talk with each other straight. If you feel your friend is wasting his life, tell him so because you love him. Welcome such criticisms from your friends. Suggest challenges for each other to take on in order to bring out each other through the fears which limit your surrender and gifting. Always agree on consequences for not persisting in the challenge. For instance, if you agree to ravish your wife for 3 hours every other day for a week, then also agree to mow your friend's yard if you miss a day of ravishment. You should alternate these kinds of cutting through the bullshit gatherings with masculine celebrations. Even during these celebrations, though, there should be a challenge to remain conscious and undistracted. They are not occasions for lapsing from fullness, but communing beyond fear. Perhaps you can all go swimming in ice-cold water together, or drink to the point of inebriation and then spend the rest of the night chanting hymns of the mystery of existence. Nobody allowed to drift. Whatever you do, share as much loving as you can with your friends without settling for mediocrity or less than each man's fullest gift. Make sure that you arrange for your woman's rejuvenative time and your own. Otherwise, you will rot in the cushions of bargain, stagnation, and sexual neutralization which pad your true edge of living your gift in relationship. There's a lot in that chapter. And I think it's cool, the timing of it, just to kind of see, because I'm starting something new on Meetup.com. I'm going to start a kind of like a masculine, men only, kind of like the Way of the Superior Man meetup group to meet other guys who are, we're all going to challenge each other in person on a regular basis and meet face to face, kind of, help each other with whatever we're dealing with at the time, and to challenge each other to live at their edge, So that's exciting. That's happening like very, very soon. And the timing again of doing this couldn't be better. I'm excited about that. Also, just since I put that intention out there, I'm drawing into my life healthy men, because that's the thing. Like, I want guys that are, about growth, about evolution, about becoming the best, strongest versions of themselves, not only physically, that's important too, but emotionally in control, really getting to that core, and again, what's cool, I mentioned it earlier, is that I don't think that as a guy, if you're with a healthy woman that is already making time for her and her woman friends to kind of grow together and play, that's a big thing too, playing, because that's the whole feminine energy in that radiance is freedom and playing. I don't know, it's really cool to have that in my partner, my woman. So, but I don't know, just it's exciting. Tomorrow's day 51, so we're almost through. I'm so glad because there's so many other things I want to make videos about and share with you guys that I'm learning. And plateaus, because I can honestly say in the pathway of growing, it's like this. It goes up, and then there's a little dip, and then it goes up again, then there's a plateau, another little dip, up again, plateau. So it's like boom, 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 boom. And sometimes those little dips happen to make make other things in your life kind of occur. Like me starting this meetup group. I'm in kind of a dip right now personally, and all that is, it's nothing bad. It's just a challenging moment to kind of look at myself, like, what am I eating? How much water am I drinking during the day? Exercise on a consistent basis, at least every day. Do something, as well as hitting the gym, taking my supplements, reaching out and creating this meetup group that I'm so fucking excited about to meet other masculine men and people that aren't there yet, and even people that are there yet, that are further along in that masculine energy kind of awakening, as well as on the same page, and as well as not as awakened into that as I am. So it's like we all help each other live at our edge. So hey, long ass video. I know if you're still watching it, good for you. We're almost done. Yeah.